I'm going to talk about something a little unusual for an opening monologue, top of the hour monologue, but it's on my mind, so I'm going to mention it because I think it's worth talking about. Of all things, it involves a folk singer who became famous in the 50s named Gordon Lightfoot, who you may or may not remember. He wrote a lot of songs that were popular back then. His best-known song is probably The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which I think is a great song. But anyway, for reasons I won't go into, I came across an interview with Gordon Lightfoot where he was speaking to his minister, the minister or something of the church he attends. And he's asked, of the many songs you've written, there are two that you change the lyrics to slightly when you perform, and there's one song you won't sing anymore. Can you tell us about those? And here was the answer. He says, I learned a lot from the many women I met. One of the things was, don't write songs that are chauvinistic. And boy, I wrote a couple at the start, like That's What You Get for Loving Me. And I will step in at this point to say that was a song that even at the time kind of got on my nerves, because it basically said, I do all these bad things to you, but hey, that's what you get for loving me. That was kind of the gist of this song. But he goes on to say, oh my goodness, I'll never write another song like that. That one taught me a lesson. It really did. Other people still sing it, but I won't anymore. Now, that I think is a great role model for people, especially older white men, and how to kind of reconsider things you've done, take an input, and make a difference. He goes on to say, and I kind of like this, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, I always treat with respect. There is a women's committee in Madison, Wisconsin, and includes the captain's wife and daughter, meaning of that ship, the daughter of a deckhand, the mother of a 21-year-old boy who was the youngest person on the crew to go down with the boat. And he says, the part in the ship about the hatch covers giving way, there's a line that at so-and-so 7 p.m. the main hatchway gave in. Well, that was the job of Cheryl's father and Ruth's son, who were deckhands. They were supposed to be the guys looking after the hatch covers. I felt a cringe. I felt something in my soul because they knew that wasn't what happened, and I had no business assuming what happened. In concert, I changed the line of the song to, at 7 p.m., it grew dark. And then he says, fellas, it's been good to know you. No more hatch covers. I respect that, too. I think that the idea that we are wedded to what we write, to what we create, to what we say, that shouldn't take precedence to the willingness to learn and change and take input from anyone. And lastly, for Gordon Lightfoot, he also did a famous song called If You Could Read My Mind, which was about the breakup of his marriage. He says years later, his daughter from that marriage came up to him one night and got me to change a line in that song. She said, Daddy, it's not the feelings that you lack, it's the feelings that we lack. And I said, you're right. I can't do anything about the record, but from now on, for the rest of my life, I promise you I'll say the feelings that we lack. And the daughter was pleased with that because the daughter said to him, wasn't it a two-way street, Daddy? So lesson number 3 from Gordon Lightfoot. Usually when we're having a problem with someone, it is a two-way street. But most of all, I appreciate his willingness to learn. All of us, as we go through life, are going to make mistakes about gender, about race, about other people in general, about sexuality. It can happen, or at least it could happen, and we've always got to be open to correction. I hope I will always be open to correction.